Okay, I am here with my review of tonight's TNA Impact Wrestling for February 23rd, 2012. Um, thought this was an okay show. Wasn't too excited about the whole Brendan Jacobs thing. I guess it was okay. Kind of helps get them some publicity, and apparently they were talking about it on ESPN and places like that. So I guess it can be good for TNA. I'm not personally a big fan of people who can't wrestle coming in, but I can also understand it if it's just. I think TNA did it right. He didn't do too much, so it wasn't like a big thing. At least they didn't put him in a match, so it was okay, I guess. I'm also not too keen on Sting versus Bobby Roode, but I think Sting's past his prime. But I do think it kind of plays into the storyline with Sting booking matches and Bobby Roode getting fed up with him and then attacking him. So I guess if this kind of ends that whole thing and then we can just go straight forward into Roode versus Storm, then I guess let's just go ahead and get this Sting Bobby Roode thing out of the way now. So on to the show. It opens up with a video package on Bobby Roode last week attacking Sting. They advertise Brendan Jacobs. Bobby Roode comes out. The announcers talk about Sting, saying he's done on Twitter. Roode talks about Sting saying that he's done. He says the fans can say goodbye tonight because Sting's going to be in the ring and he's going to tell everyone he's done. Roode talks about being the World Heavyweight Champion, his own accomplishments, says ending Sting's career is the best thing he's done in not just his career but in his life. Talks about Sting beating Harley Race, Luger, Vader, Hogan, Flair, and says he battled all these guys, but only Bobby Roode was able to say he ended Sting's career. Roode says that tonight he wants Sting to remember one thing, and that's when he says goodbye, to not let the door hit him on the ass on his way out. So it was a decent little opening promo, a lot shorter than usual for TNA. Backstage they show Crimson and Morgan. They're arguing over who cost them the titles. They get on the same page and they decide to work together tonight to get the titles back. So we have Crimson and Matt Morgan, who gets Pyro, versus Joe and Magnus for the tag titles. Excuse me. So Crimson and Morgan attack Joe and Magnus from behind. Morgan goes for the carbon footprint on Joe, but he moves. Crimson hits Morgan with a clothesline, which sets up their finish. So Joe hits Morgan in the corner with a kick, snapmares him over, Magnus hits the elbow, and they retain the tag team titles. Had me a little worried. I was afraid they may put them back on Crimson and Morgan, but thank God they didn't do that. At the end of the match, Crimson's actually staring over Morgan, and he's just shaking his head at him. So, since this was their rematch for the belts and they lost this, I think it's time for Crimson and Morgan to go back to feuding. It looks like that's what they're going for. That's probably what's going to happen, so whatever. I don't care what these guys do, but they just need to just put them together or not at all, because I really don't want to see them at all. But I know some people do, and if they're getting paid, just put them together and let them do their own thing. They recap Bully Ray and Brendan Jacobs from last week. Brendan Jacobs comes out. He talks about his Super Bowl win. He puts over TNA, saying that after you win the Super Bowl, the only thing you can do is go watch Impact Wrestling. He talks about being there last week when Storm beat Bully, and they were drinking beer, but he crossed the rail. And he shouldn't have been there because that's Bully's backyard, but he put himself out there, but that doesn't mean Bully should have spit beer in his face. So he calls out Bully, saying that he's in his backyard again, and they got unfinished business. So Bully comes out. He calls him Brenda. And then he says that he's Bully Ray, and he starts to show off his calves. He says that they are both champions, but Brendan's a 2-time champion, and he's a 23-time champion. He plays for New York, and Bully Ray is from New York. So then he insults the fans for cheering for Brendan Jacobs, says he would love to climb in there and beat the crap out of him, but he has an important tag team match tonight, and he's going to stay there and just make fun of him. So Brendan says, well, then I'll come to you. He starts to chase Bully. Bully runs, and they both run into the back. Then we see a backstage segment where Brandon Jacobs is looking for Bully. Did he lose him? He was right behind him. I thought that was goofy. But I guess he lost him. James Storm and Jeff Hardy come up and they're talking, and Storm says, "You want Bully? Come with us." And the three of them leave together. They have Zema Ion versus Alex Shelley. I don't know why they had this match. Zema Ion, I thought, won the match to be the number one contender, so the next person he should wrestle should only be Austin Aries. I don't know why he's in another match. But Austin Aries comes out to watch. He's got a glass of wine and a box of popcorn. It was an okay match. Zema Ion hides his hairspray in his trunks. And Alex Shelley goes for sliced bread. Zema shoves him. Shelley hits the ref. He catches himself, though, just before he crushes him. He turns around. Zema sprays him with the hairspray. He hits this move. It's kind of like a backdrop, but then he reverses it and he lands on his face onto Zema's knee. So he hits Shelley with that, and then he hits him with some running knees into a pin. So Zema wins. It shows Austin Aries just shaking his head. They recap Gunner versus Garrett Bischoff. Garrett Bischoff is backstage saying he's not discouraged. Nothing anyone says is going to keep him from the Impact Zone. Hogan shows up and says it's in his DNA not to quit. He asks Garrett if he understands the bullseye on his back. Says he's with him, and Eric is going to do everything he can to keep him out of this business, and he doesn't have to take the risk. But Garrett says he's going to take the risk. And Hogan says, "Well, I just want you to know that people are not just going to try and break your arm. They're going to try and mess you up." Whatever that means. Cut off an arm. Then we have Madison Rayne. She says that she hopes Sting is done because he hasn't been fair to the Knockouts or to Gail Kim. Says what she did last week, winning the Battle Royal, making herself the number one contender for the Knockouts title, she did to strengthen her and Gail's friendship and give Gail some real competition. ODB with Eric Young, they get Pyro, versus Gail Kim. During this match, TNA and Taz are talking about how ODB and Eric Young are an odd couple. And then TNA starts talking about how Chris Brown and Rihanna got back together and they're also an odd couple. What the hell was this? It didn't make any sense. And not only did they just bring this up randomly, but are they trying to get a little bit off of the CM Punk versus Chris Brown Twitter war? Because why else would they bring this up? I thought it was weird. Maybe it was out of place. Maybe the taping, between the times of taping are different and it has nothing to do with the Punk angle. They were just mentioning it. But even so, mentioning this Chris Brown Rihanna thing during a Knockouts match is out of place and stupid. But anyway, Madison Rayne comes out and distracts Gail Kim. ODB takes a shot from her flask. She gets a surge of energy. She gets her up for the BAM. And Gail escapes and hits Eat Defeat for the win. Madison Rayne tries to come in and celebrate with Gail Kim, but Gail just shoves her off and leaves. We have AJ Styles backstage. He says he's not going to worry about this Kazarian, Christopher Daniels thing. He's going to focus on himself and the world title. They show an update on Jesse Sorensen. His mother's talking about the situation. Jesse's talking about what it felt like to get knocked out. He's wearing a neck brace. He's still in the hospital. He says he's trying to stay positive. Then Mike Tenay says that since the video was shot, he has since been released from the hospital and is back home recovering. Which is good news for Jesse Sorensen. We have AJ Styles versus Robbie E for the TV title. Rob Terry's with him, and he's doing the bouncer gimmick still. Taz starts talking about how he likes Jersey Shore. I don't know. Rob Terry hits AJ behind the ref's back. Then AJ eventually goes for the Styles Clash, but Rob Terry tries to get in the ring, and it distracts AJ, so he walks over to confront Terry, and Robbie E starts to get the upper hand again. Then eventually Kazarian and Daniels comes out. Kazarian throws AJ into the ring post, and it disqualifies Robbie E. So at first I was afraid Daniels and Kaz may not come back out, and we wouldn't get to see, the end of this storyline, like what Christopher Daniels has on Kazarian that's making him do all this stuff to his best friend AJ. So I'm glad they came back out. Hopefully we'll see this feud end soon. It'll probably be AJ versus Kaz again at Victory Road, and then AJ versus Daniels, or something like that, Kaz versus Daniels at Lockdown. And then that'll probably end this whole thing. Then we have the main event, which is Bully Ray and Kurt Angle versus James Storm and Hardy. Kurt Angle gets pyro. James Storm got pyro. On the way to the ring, Bully tells a little kid he will slap him in the face, and this kid looked scared. He didn't look that scared, but he definitely was kind of freaked out that this guy was talking to him, and I thought that was interesting. Jeremy Borash introduces everyone. Bully Ray takes the mic, introduces himself again. Storm asks if there are any beer drinkers because he has a friend who is, and he has unfinished business with Bully Ray. Brandon Jacobs comes out, and he's in Storm and Hardy's corner. Couple spots. Bully Ray and Kurt go outside to get a table, but Storm and Jeff Hardy drop kick it back into their face. Then Storm and Hardy set up the table in the ring. Storm super kicks Angle, and Bully attacks Storm. Brendan Jacobs gets in the ring, and Bully challenges him to a 3-point stance. Brendan Jacobs does this, and then we hear Bully shouting like 52, 53, whatever that type of football shit is. And Brendan Jacobs is just sitting there, like waiting on him to say hut, I guess. I don't even know. This was so retarded. And then James Storm taps Bully on the shoulder. Bully gets up from the 3-point stance. Storm slaps him. Brendan Jacobs grabs him and choke slams him through the table. And then James Storm pins Bully Ray for the win. I don't know why this wasn't a disqualification. The referee saw the whole thing. This guy chokeslammed Bully Ray through a table, and he's just going to make the count. As far as I know, unless I missed something, they did not say that this guy was a part of the team. He was standing on the outside at their corner. He never got tagged in or anything like that. So how is this not a disqualification? Regardless, Jacobs shows off his calves. Him and Storm share a beer. Jacob says, sorry about your damn luck, and Storm pours beer over Bully Ray. So Sting comes out, says he's made it public that he's done, says there's too much slipping through his fingers, he's lost control, and he's been pushed over the edge by Rude, and he's done. Bobby Roode comes out, acts like he's upset, says he didn't want to interrupt his speech, but he had to come out and hear Sting say that Rude's the better man and that he's done. Sting says Rude didn't win any war or battle, and then he starts talking goofy again. He says Bobby woke him up. And then he turns back into the Joker. He starts taking out some black makeup and red makeup and rubbing it all over his face. No, God no. We don't need this again. We do not need Joker Sting back. I can't go through this again. That was just too much. The Joker thing was so stupid and so bad and so cheesy. And they're doing it again. Oh man, no. Sting says that it's no more Mr. Nice Guy. And he starts doing that weird goofy face and all those expressions. And he's going to put on his boots, his tights, his war paint, and a Victory Road. He's going to kick the living crap out of Bobby Roode. Roode starts to look scared and get the scared look on his face. He turns to leave, but then he turns back around, tries to kick Sting in the nuts again. Sting grabs his leg. He lets it go. And then Sting kicks Bobby Roode in the nuts. Then he starts to talk in this weird voice saying, follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road to Victory Road. And then he says, showtime. No, ta-ta for now. No, it's showtime. No, it's ta-ta for now. Fucking horrible. Otherwise, Impact was pretty good. The Sting thing, Jesus, I don't even know what they're going to do to build up to Victory Road, but man, is it going to be some bad Joker Sting promos. I know that. So that's my thoughts on this TNA Impact for tonight. Hope you guys liked the review. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed. rate the videos, leave me some comments. I love to talk about wrestling, so leave some comments and let me know what you guys think about the show. And I will be back tomorrow. I'm going to try and review that movie, Wonderlust, I guess it's called. That comes out tomorrow, so I'm going to go see that and then I'll put a review of that up, since I already did SmackDown for this week. And then Saturday I will be back doing Ring of Honor's TV show, a review of that. So thanks for listening. Bye.